How are you doing?
Absolutely great. It's good to see everybody here, bright eyes. I was checking from the background that somebody was, managing the Facebook ads, somebody was checking Google Analytics, so the guys are working in the background a little bit, but this is a huge stage, so amazing. And I have former colleagues. Pavel Tekel will be on stage, and other people as well, so shout out to them.
Okay, great. Everybody speaks English, everybody understands here. Každý rozumie, alebo treba to nejako jemne prekladať? Do you need any translation? I don't think
More
so.
or less, and I will have a lot of pictures and GIFs.
Okay. So in case you don't understand, you can have a look.
They will tell 1,000 words.
V prípade, že by tá angličtina úplne nestačila, tak budete mať aspoň, že nie audio, ale aspoň vizuálny zážitok z tejto prednášky, pretože Marcell má pre vás aj množstvo rôznych vizuálnych obrázkových podnetov. Enjoy! Marcell Tóth z Google pre vás.
Thank you guys for the warm welcome. Actually now I'm coming from Budapest, but originally in the last 3.5 years, I'm already in Dublin, working in Google Marketing Solutions. This was back in the days, small and medium businesses, but we rebranded it because we realized that we are working with huge companies and extremely great agencies as well. Maybe some of you already know me because I'm regularly coming here to Slovakia and to Czech as well. And I'm covering the Baltics, so like, the Estonian, the Lithuanian, and the Latvian guys. I have a couple of great clients from these countries, and I see a great potential from this room as well. So just feel free to stop by. I will be available at the desk, and I can give you a couple of hints, what I'm doing in a day-to-day job. But today I would like to present like kind of the inspirational part of our job and the inspirational part of our narrative today. It evolved a lot from the micro moments in the last couple of years, and we call it today the age of assistance. And I think everybody heard and saw those videos where Sundar Pichai, the CEO of Google Inc., is representing how Google Duplex is calling like a hairdresser salon. So today I won't have that type of presentation, but it will be building on that narrative, kind of. Everybody hears me well and understands it? Okay, that's cool. So basically, the main thing here today is that we will talk a lot about empowered customers and consumers and about mobile and how do we interact with digital in general. As you can see, this beautiful lady is watching the concert throughout the screen, but hopefully she will put this down as well and enjoy the live performance. On the other hand, she's just making extremely great memories, right? So cell phones are always with us. They are always here to assist us, to ask any question, or to make photos, or even do 1,000 other things. On the other hand, when we have the mobile, we feel that it's kind of like a bicycle. Steve Jobs had an interview with this, that a mobile or like these kind of computers are like devices for the mind, or bicycles for the mind, right? So we are using it to enhance our thinking, enhance our processes of searching for things and getting answers. We can see that we had a pretty long progress and came a long way from 2000 when we already had like 10 blue links. Of course, it was already helpful and everybody loved it. But then we decided to add a lot and lot more things to our Google search page results, and now of course you can see the places, now you can see the videos, a lot of reviews, so actually a lot of helpful answers what you are looking for. And in the era of the assistance, as you can see it now, we are literally focusing on giving you like a personal assistant in your mobile phone or in your pockets. So this means when you are asking something, for example, Google, that how tall is the Eiffel Tower, and then it will tell you the tall of this one. And of course, you can already ask that where it is, or where is it, right? And it will be a contextually native answer. So the system will know that you are talking about the Eiffel Tower. And I think this was, let's say, the first step, what we introduced a couple of months or years ago. But now the step is that like you literally tell the assistant that, listen, book me an appointment for a hairdresser tomorrow, and it will make a phone call even, say that he or she is the Google Assistant calling on behalf of me, for example, and will check my calendar. I know it sounds a little bit like too much, but believe me, if we are doing it in the right way, and if we are aware of this technology, then I think it can be really, really helpful. And I became a marketer, not just to push ads and just, push through messages through digital channels, but I became a marketer to be very, very helpful. And I think this is what we need to understand here as well. Just imagine a scenario where you're watching a YouTube video, and I understand that those skippable ads might be annoying in some cases. But just imagine that when you are watching a training video, how to do, let's say, rowing properly. And in these cases, if you get a food supplement video, which is telling you about vitamins and how to eat properly, I think this is the right content in the right time and right moment. So in this case, this one is a helpful one, just to give you a specific example. And coming back to our progress, as you can see, AdWords is now turning adult, so it's 18 years old, and you can see that we came a long way, adding a lot of features to the search capabilities what we have. For example, the images, of course, the products like Google Shopping or product listing ads. We have autocomplete. Sometimes if you would like to have fun, maybe who is writing on a computer, just go to Google and start writing how to become a, or I would like to become a something. And the autocomplete answers will be quite funny. So who's ready to tell me what you got? What is the funniest you got? I would like to become a, or how to become. These how-to searches, by the way, are really, really ramping up nowadays, especially on YouTube. And this is really showing you that usefulness, it's actually the key of marketing. Because the how-to videos, if you would like to become a painter just for a couple of days because you would like to paint your home, then of course you would like to check it on YouTube. And YouTube is always there to help you. Okay, so any answers from that? Okay, so you got some funny ones, right? Okay, okie doke, yeah. What about the other ones? For example, now we can show, of course, flights. We can do the voice search, which was already introduced in 2009. It's quite a long time ago, but haven't really used it. But nowadays we say that more than 20% of the searches in the US are happening over voice. This is a big challenge for us because in these cases the screen, sometimes it's not there because we are using a Google Assistant, or in some other cases, of course, it's in our mobile, it's in our pocket. The knowledge graph, one of my favorite ones, for example, where we can get literally the useful information without opening a web page and knowing that, for example, this is very trustworthy. And of course, the very last one is the Google Assistant. So just hands up, who is using voice search on Google, or who is, let's say, writing a message with voice dictation? Okay, couple of ones, not a lot. I think it makes our life very, very easy to use these capabilities nowadays. And this is what I was talking about, the empowered customers. This was our latest narrative a couple of years ago, the micro moments. I'm giving speeches about this in universities, trying to inspire the next generation as well. But I think everybody realizes how important this was and how important it is, that to target people in the right moments, like the I want to know moment, for example, when you do a research, but at this time maybe you are not ready to buy, but you would like to know something, you would like to be more informed. This is like the consideration part or the awareness part of a marketing consumer journey. Then comes the I want to go moment, of course, when you are in a foreign city like here nowadays. Myself, I would like to get the best restaurant, get the best, pubs, for example, or just book a room immediately. So immediacy, I will talk about this later on as well. And of course, the I want to do moments are always here with us when we would like to be very active and like fixing the pipes in this case, And the last one, but not least, this is the most important one for us as marketeers, when people would like to buy something and when they have the intention of purchasing something, right? So another tech giant, Amazon, you heard about them. Of course, they are very, very good at this one, capturing the intention as well, and how to optimize for best product recommendations, and how to capture those guys, those consumers who are in the purchase, who are kind of in the end of the purchase funnel, right? So this is what they are doing quite well. But we would like to focus on these ones as well. Let's say these are the micro moments what I was talking about. The new day, new me. This is a moment where I can fix this. Or for example, in a very specific and personal story, that I was buying a Bluetooth speaker in a store, in a physical store. Don't be surprised, I'm still going to physical stores. But I was using my phone, you know, to check the prices, and the price comparison engine and the search results told me that actually it's 30 euros less if I'm buying online. So I used it as a bargaining power to tell the shop assistant that, listen, I'm not really paying to you this full amount of money if I can buy this online. And actually, he gave me some discounts. So this was a typical micro moment when I use my mobile as an in-shop assistant, right? So if you are a marketer, you are not there, you might lose this impression and you might lose this purchase. And of course, it creates a lot of competition. So where do I even start moments? That's the cutest one, right? When a fresh dad is looking forward to raise the beautiful children of him. Okay. Who is recognizing himself or herself in these ones? Hands up. Okay, couple of hands up, right. We are extremely curious, we are extremely impatient, and we are demanding, like children, right? I know like fresh fathers are in the audience. The baby is still small, but I'm sure that we'll be curious and impatient and demanding. Why are we like this? Because technology gives us the possibilities to be curious, to be impatient, and be demanding. If you heard about the Porter 5 Forces model, you know, the bargaining power of the consumer or the threat from the competitors. Now the Porter 5 Forces model actually should be revamped and redesigned a little bit, because now the threat from competitors is literally just one click away. And of course, the bargaining power of the consumer is getting extremely high. So the consumer decides about everything, because he or she can get the information anytime, anywhere, and you know, can switch from one company to the other. So if you are not there, then another brand will be there. I think it's quite obvious nowadays for you guys. So why are we curious? This is an interesting slide. I was not really aware of this one before doing this presentation. But nowadays, people are not just searching for high consideration products, you know, like a refrigerator or like a car. We call it high consideration because, of course, you spend some time thinking about it and doing some research, or like good headphones, right? I'm watching product reviews, these kind of things. But even people, so we started to search about these things, like it seems a little bit odd that, you know, somebody is searching for best olive oil. It's US numbers, by the way, so 110% year-over-year growth, or best shower curtains, right? Usually back in the days, we used to go to the store and just pick the best one or talk to a shop assistant. But now we would like to be very, very informed, very, very data-driven decision. And we are not, we don't want to save time on this. We would like to do a proper research what olive oil to buy, because we can do that. So it's getting interesting. We are getting more curious. By the way, some operational things that on Google Trends you can get some great data as well, or consumer barometer if you need for some presentation, or client decks. Just feel free to use these ones if you haven't heard about them. What about the second part, that we are getting demanding, like I said, little children. In these cases, for example, we get used to, back in the days, that we need to put that the best coffee place is near me, or the best coffee place is, I don't know, in Senec or Bratislava, right? But now we leave this out because we understand, we learned that actually Google will know that where we are and what are we looking for, what time of the day even sometimes. So this is why we add a lot of automation, not just to our search results and to our products, but of course to our advertising platforms like AdWords. Or this one, the where to buy. So people expect the search engine and marketers to show them actually if it's available in stock, if it's not available, or which store is the nearest one, and how to get there even with just one click of a button, right? So we are getting demanding. And the last part is that we are getting very, very impatient because we say that time is money. We are a little bit like on like Speedy Gonzales. You know, this cartoon. So we are extremely impatient. And in these cases, of course, we would like to get everything now. So increase doubled, the same delivery shipping, search is doubled, and people are looking for this. This is an e-commerce, let's say, summit. So, of course, you need to know about this one. Of course, free return is very, very important, even putting the envelope in this one. Because people, for example, are buying, let's say, 5 running shoes from Nike, and of course they will send back 4, but they would like to try more, right? They don't go to a store because it's more convenient for them. And 150% increase in travel searches for today or tonight. So we are not really booking, you know, anything in advance. We would like to, we go there and we know that the supply is actually huge, so we can book it tonight. And tripled the searches of open now. So we would like to get to the things, get to the shops and stores and party places just right now. And again, here is the slide where you can see that literally the Translate is working really well. The Google Assistant is there. Now you are paying with your phone, with Android Pay, or using your Google Nest. So technology is around everywhere. For example, nowadays I'm using a lot my Chromecast and watching YouTube videos in TV, right? So let's say in the US, I'm not sure about the exact numbers, but it's getting huge. They call the cord cutters. This means that they don't have cable TV, so they only watch Netflix or other streaming services, and of course YouTube, right? So this means that you are spending a lot of money on TV advertising. You are not reaching a huge share of the customers already. So it's better to be switched now. It doesn't mean that they are not watching TV. It means that they are watching TV from Netflix or with Chromecast from YouTube. So just think about this one as well. And these are the key messages, basically. So that's the peak of the presentation in this particular moment. When you need to be helpful, you need to be very, very personal, customized to the needs, and you need to be frictionless. Frictionless means that seamless experience is extremely important. So helpful, personal, and frictionless. If you would like to take bullet points, maybe take these ones. And please book a meeting with your colleagues, with your CEO, and try to organize it around these 3 things. How your brand is helpful, how it is personal, and if your brand is frictionless, or if your experience with the brand, it's omni-channel, of course, it has multiple touch points, is it frictionless enough? Or is it a little bit sucking? Hopefully not. Hopefully it's frictionless. Hopefully it's seamless. Let's say this is a good example. When the image recognition with machine learning and with powered by a lot of data, what we bump and pump into this one is getting you useful information. You just put the camera on this one and Google Lens will tell you the name of the monument or the opening hours of the store. Or in these cases where it's helpful, right? I already told you that you can ask Google something, and hopefully the next question, for example, will be recognized as related to the first one, and it will give you the perfect answer about weather, and even not just about these very, very simple cases, but even some more complex cases, like I said, booking an appointment, or telling you some complex solutions. And of course, Google Photos, this is one of my favorite features and products of all time nowadays, is that you don't need to literally manually tag the photos and organize it, and you don't need to remember where the photo was taken. You just make a search, and you will get the photos with your cute dog or with your cute child. Yeah. What about this one, Times Square? I was there a couple of years ago. I visited the Google office as well, and it was, I was shocked, kind of. My brain was like freezing, because nowadays we live in the economy, not in the economy of oil, not in the economy of, I don't know, some money or internet. we live in the economy of the attention. And let's say the scarce of the attention, this is the scarce resource nowadays. People are not really paying attention anymore. Hopefully nowadays, now you are paying attention to me. So this means that when people are paying attention to your brand, then give them the best. And I switched because it was annoying. So give them the best. How to give the best? To be assistive. This is why we call this presentation the age of assistance, because you need to be helpful. You need to assist them solve their problems to make their life a little bit easier. Is your brand making the life easier of your customers? Or you're just pushing the message through and you're just telling your story to them even when they are not asking for it? Hopefully it's a thought starter. And in these cases, like you see, assistance in the context of marketing is driving growth by anticipating and satisfying intent throughout the consumer journey. This is what we are really, really proud of at Google, right? That actually people are coming to search and to YouTube and to other places with intention. They would like to get something done, or they would like to know something. So actually they have the intent to do something. And when you can satisfy this intention, then you are winning in the game of marketing nowadays. Let's see how Wayfair is doing it. You can see that augmented reality now, it's used in a very, very clever and creative way, right? I think IKEA is even doing this, that you can place your mobile phone over there. And actually in these cases, it's even better than going to a store, because in this case, you can literally be in your living room and just check if it fits and how the design is matching and how it's fitting. I think it's a cool one. And of course, this is the battleground for growth. So it means that if you are not anticipating the needs of your customers, or if you are not having a vision about how to be assistive later on, then I think other brands will be. And you might think that Google has a lot of spaces, you know, and not a lot of competitors. I'm just telling you that we do have a lot of competitors. And we, for example, as one of the biggest tech companies, we need to be very, very careful with this one, because the battleground is just happening right now. As you can see here, a couple of brands from the US, but I would like to mention the third one, which I particularly like, is that actually Starbucks realized that the queues are getting a little bit too long and people are walking away from the queues, skipping the coffee, maybe going to the office and have the coffee there. So they decided to use this order and pay method before going to the store. So actually, you are on the way to the Starbucks, you pay, you order your cup of coffee, and it's already waiting for you there. And they see in the US in Q4 last year, it accounted for 10% of the purchases in the Starbucks stores. I think it's pretty amazing. And actually, it solves for a massive consumer needs, right? That you are in the rush, you have, for example, time on the way on the bus, for example. So you would like to order there and not just stay in the line in the queue in a Starbucks coffee shop, you know, with the crowded people. And in these cases, we have some challenges as well. The challenge is, of course, that our user journey is getting extremely complex. With the attribution, we are trying to solve this, right? Multiple touch points, people are switching between channels, between devices, and between locations as well, of course. And they would like to have the same experience everywhere. So for me, it doesn't matter if I'm booking an apartment or a hotel on my mobile phone. Of course, I would like to, for example, save it on my mobile phone and then finish the booking on my desktop in the evening, I don't know, with my girlfriend, right? So seamless experience, but again, switching locations, switching channels, and of course, devices. So multiple touch points, extremely difficult to solve this consumer journey complexity nowadays. And of course, there was an explosion of data. So how to deal with all these data, right? We are humans, we have 24 hours a day. But this is the answer of Google, that automation is the key here. And actually, automation doesn't really taking our jobs. Or if you are using AdWords, for example, target CPA is not really taking our jobs. It's just making our life easier because it can process a lot more data than we can as humans, right? So we can save time and go home earlier, or even, you know, focus on more strategic key points. This is a message to agencies as well and to end customers here in the audience. I think you already heard about this, that we have 7 products with a billion plus users each. So absolutely we create synergies between these ones. Just to mention a very specific ones that nowadays you can create audiences based on search terms and search queries. This is called custom intent audience for YouTube, right? So if somebody's searching for the best mattresses on Google, then you can create this audience. So you define your audience, and then you can target this audience on YouTube. So actually, in these cases, you will be helpful, you will be very relevant, and you will be absolutely well targeted in this case, right? Or in other cases, like Android can be used here as well, or like in Gmail, very, very personalized emails. These are the challenges as well, how to define the intention, how to define the context and the identity. So intent, of course, means that you need to focus on what people would like to get done, where they would like to get this done, the location, the time of the day, even their life. Because, for example, we can manage to target people when they are getting married or when they are moving. I will have specific cases for that. Or, of course, identity, who they are, what they like in the past, what they like recently, and what they are searching recently. There are specific targeting methods for this. And I think it's giving us a pretty good tool and a useful hand how to reach our customers and our audience. But again, back to the assistance and back to this narrative, you need to see that you need to show up, you need to wise up and speed up. Let me get a little bit more granular on these ones. Showing up means, I already mentioned that when you are not in the particular moment, when you are not showing up, somebody else will be. A typical discussion used to be a couple of years ago. Nowadays, it's not anymore. So I'm very, very happy for this. That do you need to bid and do you need to create search campaigns for your brand queries? You know, that's a good question. Somebody else back in the days told me that, but for my brand query, I'm always the first one. But that's not the case anymore, right? Because, for example, in Google search, you can see that 4 ads we are showing, and maybe even in these 4 ads, everybody else will be a competitor, right? And in this case, you will be only the 5th. I think it's a huge missed opportunity, just to mention how showing up can be very, very useful. Like Kayak did in this specific case, what I told you is that they paired custom intent audience, so they created an audience based on the search terms and targeted this audience on TrueView for action, so on YouTube basically, but this is a new format that TrueView is now going for a little bit performance, not a branding tool anymore. I mean, for branding it's still good and still amazing, but now we are adding a more performance-focused solutions to YouTube as well. And they lowered the cost per acquisition by 80%, so it's pretty amazing. Let's talk about how to wise up and how to be more useful, how to be more helpful to the people. In these cases, Sonos realized that Google is making available to target people when they are getting married, when they are moving, and when they are graduating college. And these 3 life events can be targeted, for example, in YouTube. Actually, pretty amazing for Sonos because they should be there in all 3 life events. Getting married, maybe you would need another speaker, or graduating, of course, maybe you have your first job, you have a little bit more money, and of course, moving makes sense because in your new apartment, a Sonos Bluetooth speaker would go just fine. And they had pretty amazing results as well, 37% in purchase intent. We can measure it with the Google solution on YouTube, so it's good. And how about speeding up? I think this is the most important message because you can act on it even, you know, in the next couple of weeks, is to make your mobile web pages and your other web pages, even desktop web pages, very, very speedy. I had a study when they say that in an MRI machine, they scanned the brain functions of people when they were watching this, you know, the speed icon when it's loading, or the loading icon, and the pain parts of the brain activated when they were watching this loading icon. So actually, when your mobile site is low, then you are actually causing people pain, like literally. And in these cases, you can see that it is impacting your revenue as well, because 53% of the visits are abandoned if a mobile site takes longer than 3 seconds. You can measure it. And the next data here is that average 15 seconds is the time it takes for an average mobile page to fully load. I think it's pretty long, you know, compared to the 3 seconds. So just make sure you are fully optimized for speed and you are ready to be there. For example, in Domino's case, this is again an interesting case study. Back in the days, 5 years ago, they had 25 interactions before you could order a pizza or before you could submit a pizza order, right? Nowadays, they say that even when you are sending a pizza emoji icon to them, they will respond to this query, and even this can be ordering a pizza. Just imagine a pizza emoji icon. So this is pretty amazing as well. As you can see, now there is 15 plus ways to order a Domino's pizza. So you can literally order it from everywhere, and with just a click of a button. And this means 60% of the orders are now online without talking to an assistant at all. And half of them are on mobile. I think I talk about this, that how speed, for example, matters, because back in the days, it was a TrueView campaign what everybody was running, and it's still relevant. I still love the 30 seconds or even 2 minutes campaigns, but we added the 6 seconds bumper ads when you can tell the stories, you know, just shoot the punchlines of the stories, like in a TV. Let's say you put the TrueView long ad for 2 weeks, but then for 1 month, you will remind them with 6-second bumper ads with the punchlines. And I think this is really great on mobile, and it's a snackable content when you are on the go. So we are adapting our advertising products as well to today's needs and to the speedy world. This is something what I would like to give you a hint, you know, that page speed will soon be a ranking factor for even organic mobile searches. So it's just not just a quality score factor in the AdWords interface or when you are advertising, but literally in the organic mobile search page. So please pay attention on this one. And this is a new tool, but we just introduced it now, that the speed scorecard gives you the speeds, the rank, and the domains. So just use it, and again, recommending you to organize a meeting with your developers, with your product managers, and just try to focus on this one. And even, of course, we know that time is money, so the impact calculator gives you an average USD, how much you could lose or how much you could win with a very speedy website. So this was the end, and let me summarize it a little bit where we are. So age of assistant. If you remember, we need to be very, very fast. We need to be very, very helpful, because people are extremely demanding, they are curious, and they are impatient, right? So just remember that today's consumer would like to be very, very informed. They are extremely curious, but they are like children. They are impatient, and they would like to get everything now. So this is it. Thank you very much, and just feel free to shoot the questions.
Köszönjük. Thank you very much. I'll help you with the
Thank you.
questions, if you don't mind.
Okay.
How to get our e-shops ready for a coming voice search era in CE region?
This is a tough one. I think it's not here yet. So what the numbers what I was showing, it's in the US. Voice search will come in a couple of years, let's say, with the range what is happening in the US. But this is a good question, because in this case we need to be anticipating this as well. I think Google will come up with new solutions like this Google display. So when you are searching on Google Assistant, there will be a display where they are showing the same ad results. This will be a solution. But apart from that, I think you need to be using some automation like dynamic search ads when, you know, in a voice search, there won't be like exact things. It will be very contextual. So in dynamic search ads, it can recognize this and even showing you up when this keyword is not added there. It's a little bit complex answer, but honestly speaking, if I would like to be 100% honest, I'm not sure about the answer. So
We appreciate the honesty. Are US numbers relevant to companies in CEE? Do you in generally compare US numbers with other countries or even continents?
good question. I mean, I'm originally from Hungary, so I feel you, because usually, we don't really have Hungarian numbers. Of course, we would like to do some research over there or here in Slovakia or in some smaller countries. But I think showing US numbers, it's actually a sneak peek into the future. So when you are seeing the US numbers, just imagine that it will be here in a couple of years' time. So you can get inspired by the US numbers.
Okay. What about Google Assistant in the Slovak language? Is it even worth developing it for such a small country, such a small market?
I mean, it's difficult to answer this in a politically correct way because like I said, I'm from a small country as well. Of course, Google needs to decide about the resources where to put, but I think that definitely it is worth developing for Slovak language and for Hungarians and for Czech, and it will come soon, hopefully.
It will come soon?
Hopefully. Because, yeah, in these cases, these CEE markets, believe it or not, it counts a big portion and a big opportunity for Google.
All right.
Because we are fastest growing and, we are creative. So, believe me.
Hi, Marcell. Which Google e-commerce tools would you recommend to us online marketers? Those less known, Thank you.
E-commerce tools. I mean, at the moment, of course, I'm talking about on behalf of Google. So in these cases, like I said, dynamic search ads or the good attribution modeling, what we will have, this Google attribution is coming. It will be really good for e-commerce managers. But of course, I know that, for example, nowadays a lot of people are using Hotjar. It can make really good heat maps of the websites. But of course, at the moment, I'm not really giving you hints other than Google. Maybe after this one.
Maybe after a beer.
Yeah, after a beer as well.
How have you got numbers? How people of different ages are able to use mob apps, especially the older generation?
Yeah, I don't really have numbers on top of my mind, but I do know that even my mom, who is now turning 55, she has an iPhone, she has an iPad as well, so she's using it pretty seamlessly. Of course, they need to have a bit of education, but I'm telling you that the older generation is really ramping up on this. And as you know, the older generation is pretty much a great target group because they already have time, they already have money, they accomplished a lot of things in life. Maybe they are the empty nesters, the children are gone. We call them empty nesters. So just focus on them, and they are using phones as well.
Okay, and do you have specific numbers?
No specific numbers now, sorry.
Okay, so it's coming up.
Yeah.
In the near future.
Yeah.
With specific numbers. Any other questions? Máte ešte nejaké otázky pre Marcela? Okay, one more question. Any news about Google Shopping coming to other CE countries? Smiley face.
No, I don't know, actually, not really. But I know that, for example, it got introduced to even like smaller countries than us. So sometimes I don't really understand the logic of Google. It's difficult to say, but we are looking forward to this. Maybe at the end of the year.
Near future.
Yeah, near future, I'm more than sure.
Okay, sounds great. Any other questions? Is there anything else, or you'd rather discuss it over
just
a glass of beer at the
grab
restaurant?
Grab me over there. I'm next to the Google partner stage. Yeah.
Here in the foyer?
Yeah, here.
Okay, so this is where you can find Marcell. Thank you very much for joining us at this summit. It was a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you.